Acknowledgement. This video is produced and published on behalf of Sociocracy Academy, at the registered domain Sociocracy.Academy. Now, let's continue. Enjoy your listening experience with the Sociocracy in Action video series, by Adrian Zarif, founder of Sociocracy Academy at Sociocracy.Academy. Sociocracy and consent, why it works better than voting. In traditional systems, voting often results in a split, winners and losers. When decisions pass by a narrow majority, a significant portion of the team may feel unheard, excluded, or even resistant. Sociocracy offers an alternative, a consent-based approach that promotes shared ownership, clarity, and unity. Consent-based decision-making, as practiced in sociocracy, shifts the focus from competition to collaboration. Instead of counting votes, teams explore whether a proposal is good enough for now and safe enough to try. This inclusive question invites thoughtful consideration, not just approval or rejection. When team members raise objections, they're seen not as disruptors, but as contributors helping refine the decision. This approach ensures that each voice is considered, which strengthens group cohesion and fosters trust. Everyone participates in shaping the outcome, resulting in decisions that are more broadly supported and easier to implement. Unlike voting, where minority concerns can be overridden, sociocracy ensures that no one is left behind. Objections are integrated into the process, creating space for diverse perspectives to improve the proposal. This leads to decisions that are not only more robust but also more aligned with the group's shared purpose. Rather than creating winners and losers, consent builds a unified path forward, one where clarity, transparency, and mutual respect are at the core of every decision. Consent in sociocracy. Consent is not about unanimous enthusiasm. It's about the absence of reasoned objections. The key question becomes, is this proposal good enough for now, and safe enough to try? This standard lowers the threshold from perfection to practicality, enabling decisions that move the group forward while ensuring safety and participation. Consent in sociocracy offers a pragmatic way to reach agreement without getting stuck in the pursuit of perfection. By asking whether a proposal is good enough for now and safe enough to try, teams can move forward with decisions that are workable, even if they aren't ideal for everyone. This approach emphasizes progress over perfection and acknowledges that decisions can evolve over time. It keeps the group dynamic and adaptive, avoiding deadlock while still honoring diverse viewpoints. Importantly, consent doesn't ignore concerns, it integrates them. When someone raises a reasoned objection, it signals a potential risk or oversight that deserves attention. The team then collaborates to adjust the proposal until no objections remain. This creates decisions that are more inclusive and resilient, because they've been tested through constructive input. The result is a culture of trust and shared responsibility, where everyone knows their voice can influence the outcome, and every decision reflects collective wisdom. The value of objections. In sociocracy, objections are not disruptions, they're contributions. They provide insight into risks, oversights, and blind spots. By treating objections as valid input, teams refine proposals to make them stronger, more inclusive, and more effective. This process deepens trust and psychological safety within the group. Objections in sociocracy are welcomed as valuable signals rather than viewed as resistance. When a team member voices an objection, they are not blocking progress, they are offering a perspective that might prevent harm, enhance quality, or clarify misunderstandings. This shift in mindset reframes objections as acts of care and responsibility, allowing teams to tap into their collective intelligence. By integrating objections, proposals become more robust and better aligned with the group's shared purpose. This respectful approach to disagreement builds a culture of psychological safety, where people feel free to speak up without fear of being dismissed. It reinforces the idea that every voice matters, not just in principle but in practice. Over time, this fosters deeper trust, as team members come to rely on each other's feedback to navigate complexity together. Rather than creating division, objections in sociocracy unite teams around solutions that work for everyone. From voting to collaboration. Where voting creates polarity, consent creates convergence. Members are invited to think collectively, rather than competitively. Consent invites conversation and adaptation, so the final decision works for everyone involved. This is how sociocracy turns governance into a collaborative process. Shifting from voting to consent transforms the decision-making environment from one of competition to one of collaboration. In voting systems, individuals are often placed in opposition, advocating for their preferred outcome and accepting win-or-lose results. This dynamic can leave members feeling disconnected or marginalized when their viewpoint is outvoted. In contrast, sociocracy encourages participants to move beyond personal preferences and focus on what will serve the group's shared goal. It promotes an atmosphere where each person is heard, and where solutions evolve through collective intelligence. Consent-based governance opens the door to flexibility and continuous improvement. Instead of forcing premature decisions, the process fosters dialogue, refinement, and practical experimentation. When objections arise, they are explored constructively, leading to better decisions and stronger alignment. This method helps teams stay responsive, adaptive, and cohesive, qualities that are essential for thriving in complex, fast-changing environments. Ultimately, sociocracy replaces majority rule with mutual respect, ensuring that governance becomes a means of connection, not conflict. Consent builds alignment. Because all concerns are heard and integrated, teams that use consent-based decision-making naturally experience greater alignment. The process avoids rushed conclusions and forced compromises. Instead, decisions are sustainable, understood, and supported by all members of the circle. Consent-based decision-making fosters alignment by prioritizing inclusivity and thoughtful dialogue. Unlike traditional models where dissent can be sidelined, sociocracy invites all voices into the decision-making process, ensuring that concerns are addressed before moving forward. This approach avoids superficial agreements and encourages genuine buy-in. When team members know their input is valued and considered, they are more likely to engage actively and support the outcomes, because they help shape them. The result is not only better decisions but also stronger teams. Alignment in sociocracy doesn't mean uniformity, it means unity in action. When everyone understands the reasoning behind a decision and sees their role in its success, accountability grows organically. This clarity and shared purpose reduce confusion, internal conflict, and second-guessing. Over time, consent becomes a cultural habit, reinforcing trust, focus, and resilience throughout the organization. Better decisions, stronger teams. Consent also improves the quality of decisions. When people are asked for their thoughtful input, and not just a vote, they tend to be more engaged and responsible. This reinforces a culture of listening, contribution, and shared purpose, exactly what effective teams need. Consent-based decision-making improves the quality of decisions by fostering deeper engagement and responsibility from all team members. Unlike traditional voting, which often reduces involvement to a simple yes or no, consent invites people to actively participate in shaping the proposal. This approach encourages team members to carefully consider the implications of each decision, leading to more thoughtful, well-rounded outcomes. As individuals contribute their expertise and perspectives, the final decision is more likely to reflect the collective wisdom of the group, resulting in stronger, more effective solutions. This process also reinforces a culture of listening, where every voice matters and is valued. By emphasizing contribution over compliance, consent-based decision-making creates an environment where team members feel empowered to share their thoughts without fear of being dismissed. This leads to greater ownership of the decision-making process and strengthens the overall sense of purpose and cohesion within the team. As a result, teams become more aligned, cooperative, and motivated, ensuring long-term success and resilience. From resistance to commitment. Decisions made by consent are less likely to be challenged later. Because everyone had a chance to shape the final version, team members are more committed to implementation. Resistance is resolved before the decision is made, not after. Consent-based decision-making transforms resistance into engagement by addressing concerns early and collaboratively. In sociocracy, the decision-making process invites dialogue and careful listening, allowing objections to surface before finalizing a proposal. This means that potential problems are discussed openly, and solutions are integrated into the decision itself. As a result, once the group reaches consent, the decision reflects a collective understanding and agreement, minimizing the likelihood of pushback or delays during implementation. This proactive approach builds a culture of trust and accountability. Because every team member has the opportunity to contribute meaningfully and influence the outcome, they naturally feel a stronger sense of ownership. The decision no longer feels imposed, it feels co-created. That emotional investment increases follow-through, reduces friction, and leads to smoother, more unified execution. In this way, sociocracy turns decision-making into a process of building commitment from the ground up. Efficiency through clarity. While consent might seem slower than voting, in practice it saves time. There are fewer misunderstandings, fewer back and forths, and less rework. Consent leads to clarity, and clarity leads to efficient execution. Consent-based decision-making streamlines the entire workflow by prioritizing clarity up front. Instead of rushing to a majority vote and dealing with unresolved tension or unclear expectations later, sociocracy ensures that all perspectives are integrated before a decision moves forward. This thoroughness creates a solid foundation. Everyone understands the why behind the decision, their role in executing it, and what success looks like. That shared clarity eliminates the confusion that often leads to delays or duplicated efforts. Over time, this approach proves to be more efficient than traditional voting systems. By resolving objections early, teams avoid the costly cycle of revisiting decisions, fixing miscommunications, or redoing work due to overlooked risks. The process may feel slower at the moment, but it accelerates everything that follows. With aligned understanding and consent at the core, teams can implement with confidence, coordination, and purpose, making better use of their time and energy. Transforming team culture. Shifting to consent reshapes the way teams relate. It replaces power struggles with collaboration, and mistrust with mutual respect. Over time, this cultural shift leads to deeper cooperation and higher morale. When teams adopt consent-based decision-making, the dynamics within the group begin to shift in meaningful ways. Rather than relying on majority rule or hierarchical authority, consent invites everyone to participate as equals, the principle of equivalence. This fosters a culture where listening and inclusion become the norm. Members no longer feel the need to compete for influence or brace for outcomes they didn't help shape. Instead, they experience a sense of shared responsibility, knowing that their voices genuinely impact the group's direction. As this way of working becomes habitual, it naturally transforms team culture. Power struggles fade as people feel heard and valued. Mistrust gives way to psychological safety, allowing for more open dialogue, creativity, and problem-solving. Morale increases not because everything goes smoothly, but because everyone is respected throughout the process. In this environment, collaboration becomes more than a strategy, it becomes the lived experience of the team. Conclusion: why consent works. Sociocracy redefines how we make decisions. It places value on voices, fosters true dialogue, and creates outcomes people can stand behind. By replacing majority rule with consent, we shift from control to collaboration, and that changes everything. Consent-based decision-making isn't just a technique, it's a transformation in how people relate to power, responsibility, and each other. In sociocracy, decisions aren't forced through, they're shaped together. This leads to more thoughtful outcomes and deeper engagement, because everyone involved has had a hand in shaping the path forward. It's not about convincing a majority or silencing a minority, but about finding a solution that works for all, even if it's not perfect. By embracing consent, organizations move from a system of winners and losers to one of collective alignment. It reduces resistance, increases buy-in, and builds a culture where trust and collaboration thrive. The result is not just better decisions, it's a more resilient, adaptive, and human way of working. Sociocracy proves that when everyone is heard, everyone moves forward. For more insights on Sociocracy, including our free Introduction to Sociocracy section, visit our official site at Sociocracy.Academy. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for a new episode in the Sociocracy in Action video series by Adrian Zarif, founder of Sociocracy Academy at Sociocracy.Academy. See you in the next episode.